What is going on, guys? Rodney here with cryptobros. Welcome to tonight's video. I am back in the Beat Lab here in Mish, and tonight we're going to be answering the question, is Zebi the next icon? If you guys have seen any of the videos or the hype over the last 7 to 10 days, Zebi is being touted as the icon of India, and tonight we're going to talk about just that. We're going to talk about some price points. We're going to do a fundamental comparison with Icon. We're going to check out some news articles that it has going on, some partnerships, a lot of good stuff in the works for Zebi. That being said, we can jump into this, but before we do that, if you guys actually haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel yet, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Just want to say thank you for all the subscriptions, all the likes, all the comments. You guys are awesome. Definitely feeling the love. All that being said, let's talk about Zebi. So as we get into this, the very first thing we see is it says blockchaining India's big data. And what exactly are they talking about here? And as we kind of get into this website, I would definitely say check out this video. It does a nice job giving an overview of how things are going to flow across the blockchain freely and securely. So check that out. It's like 3 minutes long. But as we dive into this thing, I find this actually quite hilarious, as I feel like they put this kind of about us thing right there, knowing for terms and keywords that people look for when they're doing any type of review on a coin. I'll read it to you and you guys will know what I'm talking about. But it says, Zebi is a young and innovative organization founded, mentored, and managed by Oxford, MIT, Stanford, and IIT veterans and thought leaders from Silicon Valley with experience in Google, Uber, Amazon, Microsoft, and Oracle. A lot of buzzwords there. Zebi specializes in providing blockchain-based offerings to governments and enterprises to leverage and protect their high value and sensitive data. And we're actually going to flip over to the white paper and kind of dive in there. And I will say it's actually a really good white paper, but it gives a very good visual of how kind of all of this thing works. Right here, it just kind of talks about their problem, saying that there's so much big data in India that it is expected to reach 3 zebibytes per year. I'm no like tech wizard, but that's just a boatload of data between all the platforms. But moving on, Zebi specializes in providing blockchain-based solutions to governments, enterprises to leverage and protect high-value and sensitive data. Zebi is of the few enterprise-grade product companies based in India, offering best of expertise of Silicon Valley at Indian prices. So as we kind of dive into this, we can just see some of the solutions that they're providing here: reliable and secure, flexible, technology enforced, efficient, data, democracy, paperless exchange, yada, yada, yada. But here's where we kind of start getting into the meat and the bones. And really they have like 2 key pillars that is going to operate their platform. The first one is called the Zebi Data Gateway, which is right here in the middle, and then the Zebi Chain. And I'm going to read these 2 things, and then we're going to look at the white paper, and it will give you a much better understanding of what they are doing. And you'll see it is very similar to Icon in terms of connecting all these different enterprises, all these different governments, these educational institutes, utility records, basically letting it flow freely across the blockchain while being very, very safe and secure, so people can't get important data. You know, there's been a ton of like security hacks, like even like little things like you know, I don't know if you guys remember the Equifax stuff, or at one point like Target was hacked and everyone who had Target credit cards, like their data got leaked. So what they're doing is they're putting this on the blockchain, but making it accessible to all major people or all major needs within different industries, health records, blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. So it says, Zebi Chain is a proprietary lightweight satellite application installed at various data providers. Now, what they're saying is they are putting Zebi Chain at the forefront of, you know, when it's talking about a data provider, it's people who are holding some type of records, whether it's governmental, whether it's health, they have your information. Then it says, is installed at various data providers, premises to provide immutability using blockchain-based ledger. The number of nodes in the private blockchain is configurable and integrates with the Ethereum public blockchain for 100% tamper-proof protection. And then Zebi Data Gateway shall connect all the Zebi chain together. And it says installations on board individuals and data requesters with simple registration process. It can facilitate instant data exchange through data as a service APIs by connecting Zebi chain instances and taking individual consent wherever appropriate. And we're going to kind of actually dive into this, and we'll come back to the website. So if we shoot over here to the white paper, in terms of the people that they're providing a service to and the problems that they're trying to solve, it's one, the individuals whose data is being protected, so people like me and you, the data providers who generate and store the data, and the data requesters. And these are the people who need to use and validate the data of an individual part of their business or processes. So again, it kind of talks about the same thing right here, but we can see, here are the different people that would be doing it. Here are the data providers. Here's the gateway that it's going into. So again, we're talking health records, transaction records, employment records, utility records, property records, education records. So again, not the greatest graphic. I mean, it is, but this is the one that really ties it together right here. It's this right here. So over here on the left, we have the data providers. These are the stuff that's like the banks. These are the ones that actually hold whatever information you have in theirs, whether it's your social security numbers, whether it's your banking data, whatever it is. These are the people here on the left-hand side that are holding this data. And each one of these little players here will each have a piece of the Zebi data chain, and what it will do. Sorry, butchered that one. And what each of their pieces of Zebi chain will do is kind of route that data through the Zebi data gateway, and then we'll go over to the data requesters. So if it's like an employer needing some type of previous employer data, whether it's health, the insurances for the healthcare, whatever, they'll be able to access this data from the data providers through the Zebi chain. And then here's us in the middle. All our data is protected because it is running on this immutable blockchain. They're saying it can't be hacked, it's tamper-proof, because if any one of these single entities gets hacked, again, we think about like the big one within the last 6 or 8 months was the Equifax hack, and that's when a lot of people, like some serious, portions of their information got leaked. We're talking social security numbers, addresses, birthdays, all that stuff that leads to all the negative things that happen when people steal your identity. That was all leaked because if we think about how each individual entities hold your data, it's on a centralized thing in some server in the back of in their basement or wherever it is. So if hacked, they can steal thousands of people's data and use it for whatever the hell that they want to use it for. So that's kind of the overarching goal here of Zebi. They're taking all these different entities, putting these entities that hold information, putting it on the blockchain, making sure it's safe. Then when people actually need it, they're able to access it, very similar to what Icon does. It's just a whole blockchain, a whole ledger that holds that. So that's kind of the project overview. We are going to flip back over to the website here. Just a couple quick things to note on the roadmap. 2018. Zebi chain for the land registry and property records to other government agencies. They're putting that on the blockchain. They're also working on educational records. Q2, Zebi chain employment records. They're integrating with Ethereum. 256-bit encryption, API authentications for verification and consent management. And we can kind of keep going until we get to a year from now, Q2 2019, Zebi Pay, integrated with leading blockchain gateways, and they keep kind of going on. So again, they're basically taking all this big data, all these people who have, all this kind of information, and is spread across a ton of different enterprises and integrating onto one safe and secure blockchain. So very similar to what we are seeing with Icon, but for India. Obviously, this is why people are making the assumption that this is the Icon of India. As we get into the team, I think you guys have probably heard my spiel before. Like, I don't go very in-depth on the team stuff. If you watch any other Zebi videos where they do like Ian Bellina stuff, or there's a couple other video reviews out there that they go fairly in-depth on there, they basically break it down and say, look, it's an all-star team. They have a ton of great people working under this, a ton of big names backing it. Superb advisory team. And again, guys, if we just kind of dig through here and look at some of the buzzwords here, we have an ex-Uber, ex-Microsoft, ex-Google, Quantella, Quantella. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, it's just embarrassing. People from healthcare, predictive analytics, marketing analytics, like just a lot of big names. Stealth security, Harvard Law School. So a lot of like buzzy-esque words that would rank people as some type of all-star. I've clicked through a couple of these guys' LinkedIn, just mainly actually these top three here or top four here. And you'll see they have just a great track record, so nothing really to worry about as far as the team goes. And again, I don't like to do the whole team breakdown and give them a ranking because, again, that's very speculative, and it is what it is. Like, you can see their experience and make up your decisions for yourself. But one thing, and I actually picked this piece up from Randall from Crypto Love. He pointed this out on his review, and I actually think this is a super good point. So he's saying they're partnered up with Torque Capital Partners. Now, if we just kind of look at basically what these guys are doing, is just like capital investors, they help launch a bunch of projects. And we can see what their current partners are and who they've worked with in the past. I think it speaks volumes that they are working with Zebi. So we see Nucleus Vision, Icon, WanChain, Power Ledger, Dragon Chain, Wabi, Dragon Coin, CP Chain, QuantStamp, Oracle Network, Matrix AI, Chainlink, PolicyPal, Zebi, Mercury Protocol, P-Chain, District OX. Like some serious big names in this crypto space. Not only like serious in terms of really great projects, but also very much hyped up, very popular, very forward-thinking projects that are out there. So that's just a little tidbit to go out there. So thank you, Crypto Love, for pointing that out, because I seriously think that's an amazing point in terms of making a speculation investment. So if we just swing over here, current price point, basically 20 cents. And I mean, this is going to be up to you guys whether you want to actually buy into this project or jump in on it. And if we look, really, I mean, this just came out April 30th. We're not even 2 months old yet, or it hit exchanges April 30th, and it debuted at a penny. And right now we're basically at 20 cents, which is a 20x. The thing is with as much hype is kind of surrounding Zebi right now, especially when we're talking about what we're seeing from like Supoman and some of those. Like, I think this has some room to run, but the thing to remember here, guys, is, and it's totally up to you if you want to invest. Like, if you can withstand some fluctuations, down, back up, whatever, that's totally up to you. I mean, you could always buy and set a super tight stop loss as well. Hopefully that triggers, but here's the thing, it's fresh out of ICO. There could be a retracement. It is up 20x. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to buy into it right this second, but at the same time, we could see this run up to 60 cents, 70 cents, 80 cents. I don't know. So that's completely up to you. And really, with a market cap, and we're going to get into this in just a second, with a market cap of under 100 million and being brand new, now we could see a retracement, but we could see this thing just continue to run. And what I did is over here, I did just a price comparison, kind of with Icon, and I just plotted these right next to each other over here, and we can see again, Zebi, very brand new. Some may consider this an unfair comparison, but if we're looking at where we're at, so current market cap is 92 million versus 1.7 billion. 24-hour trading volume, we're going to call it 2 million versus 51 million. The thing is with Zebi being so new, it's not even on any exchanges yet, and it has I mean, it is on exchanges, but not a ton of very popular exchanges yet. So whether people are going to go out of their way to try to buy this on, we can actually look what it is. I, whatever reason, just blanked out on the markets here. But if we want to shoot up, oh yeah, that's right, cryptos. This is like the cash. The QUASH exchange, and then IDEX. And I've actually never heard of CoinEx, so whatever. But if people are going to go out of their way to get this, they can probably cash in and do very well. The majority of the volume here is on cryptos, but that's totally up to them if they want to do that. Some guys might wait for it to get a listing on Binance or on KuCoin or on Gate or on any of these other ones before they go out and get it. But really, with some patience, I think that there's a ton of upside, to Zebi, and that's just based on even like the fundamentals. Like, granted, it does have a $1 billion total max supply, but right now our total supply is only 500 million with a circulating supply of 460 million. So yes, the billion-dollar token mark may turn off some people, but what we're seeing a lot of these days is, remember when that low cap and still low cap coins in terms of max and total supply and stuff is still very popular, but we're seeing a lot of these multi-billion-dollar coin circulating and total supply coins do very, very well. And I'm hesitant to speculate on the price, but I absolutely think a dollar for a Zebi token is completely achievable. And I don't know, in my eyes, for me to say that, I think holds some weight. And I'm not saying that because I'm knowledgeable or anything like that, but I'm usually very conservative in the price predictions, and I don't normally go very high or optimistic. I look at everything. I don't want to say at a pessimistic level, but I try to underestimate the value of the coin and go from there. But I definitely think a dollar is completely in play here, and in the very fairly short term. So if we swing over here, if you guys haven't checked out their Bindo. My dog's barking at me. He's not happy because I've been gone for a couple days. I'm shooting this video. But if we swing over here to their Twitter page, obviously growing like crazy, 15,000 followers. They've got some really cool things going on their page here. And then also, one thing we didn't talk about is what they have going on in India with the hotel industry. So right here, there's 3 articles we're going to reference, and I'll put all of those down below. But it says, police mandate use blockchain hotel registry in Indian city. And basically what they're doing is they're saying that every hotel in this city has to go to the blockchain based on the Zebi project and their AI chain. And if we kind of read a couple of these here, there's some great things. So it says, Zebi AI chain solution is currently deployed at more than 200 hotels, and we are preparing for a full-scale deployment across all hotels in India. The total market of online hotel booking in India is expected to be more than 2.3 billion by 2020. We made it mandatory for all hotels in, I'm going to butcher this, so don't kill me, Vizag city limits to use Zebi AI chain, said Dr. Guy. We are able to get a visitor detail from the hotels to our police control room in real time. This data will be compared with police database with the police database to ascertain whether guests have any criminal background. The communication with the police department has been hassle-free after implementing the application provided by Zebi. Previously, the police used to visit us on regular basis. I'm literally the worst reader on the internet. Previously, the police used to visit us on a regular basis for inquiring about the status of a tourist. Now it is not necessary. So basically, like, if you're doing anything shady and their blockchain AI system can identify you and they can transfer data back and forth, they know if you're checking in, they kind of have an understanding what you're doing, like, that is a very huge safety feature. And over here is the last one we're going to refer to. I really don't want to read this just because I'm such a terrible reader, but we're going to go through this just because I want to paint the full picture of how they're implementing this in terms of like a real-world use case in terms of keeping people safe. So it says, Zebi AI chain brings both privacy and security to the data collected, while automating the whole data transfer activity. So this is like if your Marriott gets hacked and they have your credit card information, your birth date, all this stuff, like, they're putting this on the blockchain, so not only is your data protected, also hotel guests and like criminal activity is also protected. If we think about some of the events that have happened here in the U.S., the stuff in Vegas, some of the shootings and things like that, like, this is going to help, or this is attempting to identify some of these issues before anything bad ever happens. Now, again, there could be some arguments based on some privacy stuff, but it's not my place. We're just talking about some of the use cases here. But it says all of the private and sensitive data for individual hotel guests is stored in the blockchain, and any access or updates to the data are a part of the immutable records on the blockchain. The individual remains as a full controller of the data as consent of the individual is taken before the use of it. So basically, before anything happens, unless you're doing something shitty, they have to confirm with you that that is okay. So then it says a board member of Zebi said that the world has seen plenty of innovation in AI in the last few years, where developed countries already have started deploying AI-based surveillance softwares by local police. AI can help automate surveillance by employing state-of-the-art algorithms for facial recognition, image analytics, while ensuring the security and protection of the data through the blockchain. Imagine the potential of an AI product that could automatically match images on ID proofs in real time. So some very, very big things going on for Zebi. And it's very cool because this is like, yes, this kind of just came out, did their ICO thing, just got on the market, but this has been around, I believe, since 2015. So it's not necessarily, actually, I should fact check that before I say that. I think this got going, and I'm just recalling off the top of my head. But if that's wrong, I apologize. But this has been around for a little while. Exact time frame, I don't know. So it's not like this is some brand new project or brand new thing. Like, there's plenty of backing and plenty of things going on within this project. So again, very cool to already see the innovation in the hotel space and where they're going in terms of connecting all these industries, governments, hospitals, you name it, employer type of things. And I just think that's a very good sign for this project in terms of an ROI standpoint. They have working product, they have things in motion, they have partnerships, they have backing. So totally up to you guys if you want to move in on this. I mean, we've seen what Icon does. 20 cents, even up to $2 is a 10x. And again, guys, I think that dollar market is even fairly conservative, but totally up to you guys if you want to invest in this project. But yeah, that's all I have for you today, and I think this is going to be a winner, especially at the 20-cent price. Yes, there's going to be some fluctuations along the way. We've seen a downturn in the market over the last 2 or 3 days, but in the grand scheme of things, altcoin world and a lot of these emerging projects are doing very, very well. So anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. I'm sure this video is way too long. Per usual, I got to get these down to 12 or 13 minutes, but I really struggle with that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back with another project review in the next day or so. I appreciate you guys so very much. Have a great night, and I will catch you later.